I was scrolling through my Instagram, you know, and my Instagram, man, it's just like one big giant thirst trap, you know. All I see on there is women with their ass out, shaking their ass, showing their coochie print. You know, I even see some women, man, who used to exhibit a little class. Now they out there half naked with their goddamn titties and shit. I'm like, shit, if you gonna wear that little bra, you might as well just show your damn titties. You know what I'm saying? But then I ran across this one picture where a woman was fully clothed. And she was a young woman. And I was like, damn, that's different. So when I said, damn, she actually looks classy. I'm like, the first thing I thought, I said, now that's a classy woman. But in the contrast of everything else that I see on social media with these young black women, the 20 and the 30 somethings, you know, our 80s and 90s babies, you know, our 90s babies and the millennials, you know, I think late 80s, 90s, and maybe 2000. That group, all they on social media doing, man, is how much of my ass do you want to see? Look at my camel toe in my clothes. Look at my titty nipples because I'm on here with the bra on. Seems like that's the norm. So I posed the question: is dressing and being a woman of class, exhibiting class in your style of dress, in the way you carry yourself in public, and social media is a public forum, is that a thing of the past with young women? Have they've been successfully programmed into thottery and whoredom and just being, you know, look at me, look at my ass, look at my tits, look at my coochie print? Is that the norm now? Because if that's the norm for the young women, then what's coming up behind them, that's going to be the norm for them. Because the young girls is watching. They like, oh, this is what we do? You know, just like my generation, the 60s babies, most of the women in my generation were brought up by women who came up in the 40s, 50s, and 60s. You know, we looked at the grown people of the 60s and the 70s. That's who they looked at, the young girls. And back then, black women didn't run around half naked. You know, not to the degree that they do now. Today it's the norm. That, you know, a woman who's dressed classy and exhibiting class in her behavior is the exception now. You know, women dress like whores. You know, you can take these women, put them on the hoe stroll, and they'll fit right in, even though they might not be hoes. But you, according to the way they dress and what you see on social media, I'm like, oh, shit. But see, that's the norm now. That's not the exception. Back in the day, it was the exception. You know, back when I was growing up in the 70s and the 80s, it was the exception. You know, whoredom. You know, every generation of black folk had dots and hoes and shit. But you know, now it's the norm. And you know, I don't want to sound like the old dude, man, who just, you know, just fucked up about what's going on. It's just an observation, you know what I'm saying? And I call it like I see it. Hell yeah, shit. I like goddamn looking at tits and ass just like the next man. But when that becomes all I see, I'm like, goddamn, I like to see a classy woman every now and then too, you know what I'm saying? Especially when I'm looking at our younger women. I'm like, goddamn. And I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna be quiet, man. I had a stepdaughter once, a few years ago, and she was about 17. And she had the big breasts like her mother, tall, long legs, dark skin, and she was at an age where she was coming into her sexuality, I would say. So she used to wear tight clothes, hot pants, and you know, and then one day I just, you know, I talked to her mother about it, you know, I'm like, your daughter dressed kind of sleazy. ain't eating celery. That shit gets stuck in your teeth. The daughter's dressed kind of sleazy. She's like, well, you know, she's into it, you know. That's just how she dressed. But, you know, being that her father wasn't nowhere around, I can understand why, because ain't no man gonna let his daughter dress like a goddamn hoe in the thought, you know what I'm saying? That's what's missing in the black community now, strong presence, strong male presence in fatherhood. But, so I just kind of got disgusted one day, and I asked her, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, we in the hood, South. I ain't gonna say where, but we in the hood. So I just said, I asked her, I said, is you selling pussy? She kind of got disgusted. No. I said, well, stop advertising then. She said, I ain't advertising. I'm like, bullshit. I said, because I could take you with what you got on, take you right over there, put you on that hoe stroll, and you will fit right in. Because you dress just like them. You know, and I saw she was upset, so, you know, I had to think on my feet, so I thought about something that Muhammad Ali said to his daughters that I had read, you know, and I thought it was so profound. I memorized it because I think that most of these young girls who have not been taught self-respect and the value of their bodies, I think that they need to know this, so I'm going to say it now, you know, and if I can remember correctly. Because Ali said this, man. He said that everything that's valuable in the earth is buried and covered, man. You know, in order to get diamonds, man, diamonds, you have to apply pressure. It's up under the coal. You know what I'm saying? You have to get through the coal to get to the diamond. You know, gold. Gold is in the earth. It's buried. Gold is a valuable metal. You know, people want it. But it's buried. You have to mine for it. Oil. That's a very precious substance on the earth. Costs lots of money. They fight wars over it. How you think Saudi Arabia got so much wealth from oil? That's in the ground. You have to dig for oil. You have to get them pumps and pump it out the ground. It's buried. It's covered. Pearls. Pearls are laying at the bottom of the ocean floor in a shell. And you have to go down there and get them and get the shell and open the shell up and get the pearls out of the shell. You know, all these things that are value, that has value in the earth is buried and covered. And a black woman's body is more sacred and valuable than any of these things, man. And that should be covered too. You know, and that's just how I feel about it, man. I just felt the need to put that out. Let those that have ears hear. Those of you that think I'm just an old dude and shit spitting on my soapbox, and okay, man, say what you say, do what you need to do. But it has to be voices among us that come up and speak to this debauchery and this tastelessness and this classlessness that we're seeing amongst us. And I'm always be that voice, yo. Somebody got to do it. But anyway, that's all I wanted to say, man. Peace. I'm out.